Welcome to the 13th part of this tutorial series. We're adding police to the game, so let's get started. The first thing we're doing is hopping into our Scratch game and looking at the current state of it, right? We have our wanted levels, we have our stars timer, which I'm going to disable for the time being, and we have our police, which of course currently do not work. Oh my goodness, what did I just see? Did I just see a car on the wrong side of the road? Anyway, just gonna ignore that. I might have one of my things wrong, but anyway, we're gonna go to our police, and the first thing we're gonna set is going to let me stop the game. We're gonna go to the civilians, go to the civilian position, and then just throw this into the police, right? And then go to the police, and we're gonna say right here, we just have our position, right? The code we always use for our position, which I've explained already. The first thing we want to do is, if we have a police in the game scene, we want to, okay, not if we have a police in the game scene, but if we have a police at left, we're gonna say num police and change it by -1, right? So what we're doing here is, if a police, like let's say our player leaves the vicinity of the of the world, like let's say not the vicinity of the world, but our police, like we get so far from the police that the police isn't in the camera, we want to like delete the police from the game, right? So we're gonna change the number of police by -1 and delete this clone, and we're gonna do the same thing, so duplicate and do the same thing here, right? So if our police leaves the world somehow, delete it. That's the first thing we're doing. Next, we're going to set up the movement of our speed. So we're going to go to my blocks, and we're going to set a brand new block called move. Click OK, and then we're going to define move. So what we're saying is move. Then we're going to set a brand new variable. We're going to set this variable to, or not set it, but set the name of this variable to police speed. And this is going to be a public variable. There's no need to make it private. I was going to say move police speed, and then we're going to change, as we notice here, we have a my x and my y for the police itself, because we brought in this code right here. And then we're going to say my x, my y, and then we're going to bring in a minus, duplicate, and then we're gonna say previous. Okay, we're gonna, for our police specifically, we're gonna have to create a new variable for this sprite only. We're gonna call this previous x, and then the next one is gonna be previous y, right? For this sprite only, for both. And then throw this here. So we're gonna say previous x, previous y, and then go to our motion and change x position and y position. Now we've set up the movement and the position of our sprite, and then we also just want to go to our thing here, remove this, and then just as something we usually do is say when flag is clicked, hide, because we're going to be operating with clones here. So now we're going to be setting up what happens when we create a clone of these police, which we do right here. We've done it in the previous video where we say create clone of police when stars equals to 1. So the first thing we're going to do is select this script right here, which says when I start as clone, and we're going to go to looks and select show, right? And then we're going to go to variables, my variables, and for this sprite only, and call it spawn decision. And then we're going to set spawn decision, remove it, make sure that it's for this sprite only, and then we're going to say spawn decision is going to go to operators and then pick a random number from 1 to 4. And then we're going to grab the first if statement. The first if statement is if spawn decision equals to 1, Then we're going to set my x, and then bring a plus operator, and then we're going to say x plus 220, and then we're going to duplicate this and then say y, and we're going to change this to y, which is basically the distance, and then change it to plus pick random -157, then 157. Now let me explain what we're doing here. So we're choosing a random spawn decision 1 to 4. The first one, which can be 1, we're gonna have 3 more obviously. And we're gonna say spawn decision equals to 1 if my x equals, if the first place we spawn our police is x, is going to be my x and then x plus 220. So the x is right here, so we're gonna spawn it right here, right? This is x right here, our player's x plus 220, and then we're choosing a random y from up here to down here. So this is the first place it can spawn. The second one is going to be spawn decision 2, and it's going to be -220, which is going to be to its left, and then same spawn decision. The next thing we do is just duplicate these two, and then make this 3, make this 4, and then here we're going to make the y. We're gonna change this, and then just, okay, actually my bad, hold on, my bad, oh my bad. Okay, so this should be my y, this should be my y, right? This is a mistake I made. So this should be my x, my y, my x, my y. This should be my y. Remove this. This should be a my y, make it 3, and then say right click here to change the thing and make it y, and then say y plus 157, and then I'll explain what we're doing here now, and then we're just gonna say -220 and then +220. So now for the third place, we have one that can spawn anywhere here, anywhere here. Now we want it to spawn up here. So y157 is right here, where my mouse cursor is, and then -120 to 220. And then we just basically do the same thing here as 4, and then make this -157 bet. So now, once we've done that, we're gonna set up the position of our police, and then we're going to basically repeat what is this? Repeat this until we're not touching a something. Okay, I'll explain it now. First, grab a repeat until block, and then grab a not block, and actually grab an and block, and then another and block, and then grab a not block, and then grab a sensing block, touching block, bet. So the first thing I want to look is car, duplicate the not, grab a collider, duplicate this, and then grab a civilian. Okay, so what we're doing here is, okay, then let me just duplicate this, remove this, put this here. Okay, so what we're doing here is we've chosen a spawn position, but let's say our police spawns, like we're here and the police decides to spawn right here. Well, it can't spawn in a collider. We don't want it to spawn in a collider, or we don't want to spawn in a car. So what it's doing is we've decided, okay, this is clearly a problem. Let me look at the x. No, my y, -431. Okay, let me write that down. -431. We're gonna look back at that bug a little bit later, but anyway, okay, so if there's a car right here and the police spawns here, then we don't want the police to be in the car, right? So we're gonna change its spawn decision and make it spawn somewhere else in these corners. Basically, that's what we're doing here. Now, we just want to forever, once we've decided a spawn position that's not touching our anything that we're not supposed to be touching, we just want it to point towards player. And then we're gonna go to my blocks position, and then we're going to set okay, so just gonna set duplicate, set previous X and previous Y to X and Y position, and then move. So now let me just show you what happens. So let's go ahead and kill somebody. So you see we have a police right there. Now we're gonna have a police chase us, and like I said, we're gonna solve this problem real soon, don't worry. We're gonna have a police chase us. So for that, we're gonna say I just want to stay on script now, and then in the next video we're gonna solve that problem first thing, I promise. So we're gonna say when I start as clone, we're gonna say go to front layer, and then forever and the first thing we want to look is, I think this might be an if else statement. Actually no, let's just use a normal if statement. So let's say if, then we're gonna say not, then we're gonna say equals to 0. So if stars equals to 0, then we're gonna say, I just duplicate this, we're gonna say if, remove this not, put this here, and move this here. So change this to police type equals to chase. So if we go to our wanted level, you're gonna see we have the police types: chase, pistol, pistol, AK. So the first thing we're setting up is the chase. So now let's get to some coding. We're gonna say if police type equals to chase, we're going to set the police speed. Remember, this is something we had before. We're going to set our police speed to 2.5. So we're going to be chasing our player around. And then we're going to go into our costume. And if you download the police sprite, you should have the rest of these. What is it? Walk. We have walk 1 to walk 6. Just import all of that. And then go back to code. And then we're going to say if set. And then we're going to go to if again. Grab an if else statement, put it under this inside the chase, and then say if, and then grab a less than operator, and then say if costume number is less than 6, and then we're going to switch the costume to grab a plus operator, and then grab a costume operator, and then we're going to say costume number plus 1, and then wait operator 0.27 divided by police speed. So the reason why we're using 0.27 divided by police speed is just so the animation lines up with how fast our player is going, so that the feet look like it's in sync with how fast our player is going. So if you were to have a faster chase, it's still going to be in sync. That's why I'm not choosing a set value. So it's also easier for you guys if you decide to change that. Put this here, remove this, and make this idle. Walk 1. Walk 1 is idle, right? Yes, sir. Now, next thing we're setting up is underneath this statement, we're going to say if police type is still equal to chase, Then we're going to, oh my goodness, let me stop this. We're gonna say if touching player, then we're going to go to events, stop, oh my goodness, stop, other scripts in the sprite, switch costume to walk 1, which is idle. You can rename that to idle if you would like, and then set this to driving equals to 0, so we hop out the car, and then wait 0.5 seconds just so the player can process they've been touched by a police, and then broadcast busted. So now if we hit the flag, try to find a not so much enemy, but interesting. Actually, let's go to the player. Why? Okay, so -130. Scratch this. Okay, so we've attacked a civilian. Let's do it again. We have a star. The police isn't showing up. So let's see, where have we gone wrong? Well, it might be in the police type. So let me go to what is it? Yeah, go to front layer. So we're gonna say go to police. What is it? Police type. Go to wanted levels, and this is chase in a capital C. Oh, you see, I wanted level went down once 30 seconds passed. I'm not sure what's the problem, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue on and figure that problem out later. So next, we're gonna say if police type equals to what is it? Let me grab and just remove this. If police type equals to pistol, let me stop this code. If police type equals to pistol, we're going to grab a if else statement. So and then we're gonna say distance. Where's the distance? Distance to player. And then we're gonna say greater than 200. Then duplicate this, remove this, put this here, put this 3. Okay, so what we're doing here is if our police type equals to pistol, we look if we're so far from the player that is greater than 200, then we have to chase the player. We're still in chase mode, right? But if that's not the case, what we're going to do is grab a duplicate this and say if, well, actually we can't do that, or can we? Yeah, we can. So we're gonna say if distance to player is greater than 100, then we're going to set player speed to, not player speed, police speed to 1.5, so it's slower. Because if we look at our player speed, if I'm not mistaken, it's 3.5, right? So we can always outrun the police. You can always outrun them. If you want to stop that, you should set this 3.5, but it just gets a bit faster if the police has an intention to shoot you. So we change this to police speed to 3, police to 1.5 if we're close enough, and then we're going to switch the costume to pistol. So to do that, we kind of have to import a pistol and then an AK. And then what you do is just look, if we select this, we can see that the back of the hat is right here, this corner. So we do that here. So this is the middle of the sprite, and the hat is right there, and then we just do the same for the AK. So it doesn't have to be perfect, just as close as possible as you can get. Now we set this to pistol, police pistol, and then duplicate this. If we're so close to the player, we just set it to 0, right? Now we should put this here underneath the, so put this here. So if chase, then if pistol, and then we have here 1 2 3 4, and then we just say if police type. Okay. Next we're gonna have another if statement. Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna have another if statement, which is gonna be the assault rifle. Oh my goodness, my bad. I'm gonna change this, duplicate this, make it AK or whatever you named it in the wanted levels. So AK. Go to the police. Dragging this AK. Same thing as before, but instead we're using police AK and police AK, right? And that's it. That's all we're doing here. Now we can go ahead and drag this out, and then drag this here, and then drag this here. And then something important, let's grab an if else statement, put this all in this if statement, and then we're gonna say if star is equal to 0, basically set police speed to 0 and walk 1. Then we just have it stay in position or whatever. Okay, that's it. Now actually duplicate this. Actually, my bad. Just duplicate the not star is equal to 0, and then basically point towards player if stars does not equal to 0. So if we finish the wanted levels and nothing happens to us, then we can just leave it alone. Remove police speed, remove police Y, remove police my Y. Okay, we're done with that.